All right, greetings, dear Scorpios. This is a tarot illumination over here. Excuse me, and that's you guys over here. It's your September 2019 report. We're going to do like a mixture of things. I'm going to share with you my Astro Doodle, and I'm just going to focus on the yellow highlights. Okay, there's a ton of other stuff, but I'm just going to keep that simple for these reports. We'll get to the cards in a bit. And we're going to pull a couple of oracles at the end as well, okay? I'm going to also use the crucible spread about relationships because in my experience here now at the channel, the vast amount of concern pivots around relationships. So I'm just going to make that the spread that we're going to use. I call it the Tarot Illumination Crucible Spread. It's on the understanding that the crucible is a bowl type structure they use in laboratories that are designed to withstand intense alchemical reactions in the laboratory, which is just like what happens in human relationships as we intimate and we separate, okay? So we'll get to that in a minute. Also, by the way, it's also on the understanding that there's you, Scorpio, there's significant others, okay? But there's a third entity in each relationship, and it's called the relationship. It's a third entity. It's a living, breathing thing of its own. I like to think of it as a sort of potted plant, and you guys own that. I'll show you in a minute. So here's the basic dates for the month. I'll keep it very simple. We got the new moon in Virgo very early on. In fact, right at the beginning. It's actually the tail end of August, but so what? It's so big, it's just going to spill right over into September. It's 5-planet stellium, Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars. And so that's going to impact you just like it does everybody at that particular point in your chart. The full moon comes 2 weeks later, exactly when the moon is in Pisces, opposing all that Virgo energy. 2 weeks later, we have the new moon in Libra, okay? Just before that, the sun moves into Libra. So let me go straight to your astrodoodle to give you a little bit more of a bird's eye view. So it's not a real chart, okay? These are my collections of bits and pieces, and I note them for the whole month. I think of everything as going through like a ticking clock, all right? So I'm putting you here on the horizon. There's you, Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising if you want. Crosswatch too if you want. So over here, have a look. This is where the new moon is, okay? New moon in Virgo, right up here in your 11th house. So that's very harmonious for you. So you're one of the lucky ones this month, okay? It's a lot of energy piling up here. So you might be feeling a strong sense of new starts and new beginnings about your place in community, your place in the world, about how like your hopes, dream, they call it hopes, dreams, and wishes in the 11th house for humanity, also for yourself, you know, and your loved ones, like that sense of community, okay? And so this is very nutritious for you, okay? This is a very harmonious aspect for you. And luckily, it's also amplified and supported by all the Capricorn energy over here, your 3rd house, and the Taurus energy over here in your 7th house. There are other ways that people can interpret this, but I'm looking at it as sweet and simple and very healthy, solid, earthy, and grounded. You know, Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, all right there. But here's where the big action is, okay? 2 weeks later, we come to the full moon. So that moon is over there in your 5th house. So when you're talking about the 5th house, creativity, business, risk-taking, fun, happiness, true love, excitement, passion, romance, okay? It's like fun. It's being happy. This is a really, really good house for that. And of course, that's harmonious for you. So it's almost like September is a kind of a sweet month for you, Scorpio. Not everybody's like that. Some charts are having a really challenging time. I'm not saying you're not, because we still have this going on. But in general, this is very harmonious for you. So my take on it is over here. By the time we get to the middle of the month and this full moon, you will get a much clearer idea of what you're supposed to be doing with all your natural talents and gifts and resources and risk-taking in terms of like building your enterprise, your business, your creative self-expression, whatever it is that you do, and including, like, let's say, you could almost say the fun of romance and the love of business, the love of your business and your talents and lights, whatever it is. This is the 5th house, like it's ruled by the sun normally. So again, this is harmonious for you. So I think when you come to the full moon, you will feel it in some way about how you are valuable to the community and how you actually really enjoy, you actually really get off on being this person for the world, for the community. Yeah, it's a little bit challenging over here because it's this square, the Virgo Pisces is squared off with Jupiter and Sagittarius, but that's sweet for you. So I'm not going to worry about it too much, okay? Yes, okay, let's go to this one. You've still got, well, you're going to have Uranus and Taurus here for at least another 6 years. So that's going to be a lot of unpredictability and wacky surprises in fundamental one-on-one relationships. But just for now, for this month, it's sweetly supported by the Virgo Capricorn stuff. So let's not stress too much. Okay, let's go to the cards. I told you what they were about at the very beginning. Cards are already pre-shuffled, but I'm going to go to the last second so that you're a witness, Scorpio. Okay, no fudging here. Everything here at Terra Illumination is handcrafted, artisanal, small batches, non-GMO, for your pleasure. There's no automatic, digitally generated tarot readings here. Sorry. All right, here we go. I think we got it. Big chunks. I just got some big chunks there in the deck. So bless this deck. Bless every single card. Bless you, Scorpio. Bless Terra Illumination. Bless the whole platform, cameras, lights, technology, computers, everything that we can do this at all. Okay? I'm going to put these hearts out here to symbolize love and relationship. Over here, what are you radiating? Think of yourself like a smartphone. Always transmitting and receiving signals. Think of it as perhaps your aura, and then allow for the laws of attraction. What is reflected back to you from the universe or from certain significant loved ones, okay? What are they radiating? Let's have a look. Okay, and remember, this is not a couples reading. It's all about you, but we're allowing for the co-star here. Deep inside of you, deep inside of the other, and to the core of the relationship itself. So I talked earlier about how here is you, here is another, and here's this third thing, the relationship itself. So I think of it as like a potted plant. This is actually the crucible structure, which is a bowl, looks like this from the top. And this is the context in which your relationship is conducted as we intimate, we separate. Always, 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 just like the waves in the oceans, okay? So if you think of it as a potted plant, well, what have you got here? Is your potted plant leaky? Is it solid? Is it well maintained? Is it a mess? Does it need attention? And what is exactly growing out of this? Okay. And of course, just like in any sort of earthy situation, I keep going on about the Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus stuff. So I'm keeping it very close to nature and plants and everything. What's the weather like out there? I think of it as planets, but it could be anything. Your family, your environment, your circumstances, very, very challenging things, very supportive things, whatever it is. Let's have a look. Let's get started. The Ten of Cups. Okay, so I have a feeling you're one of the lucky ones, Scorpio, this month, where you're going to get a taste of this, a taste of true joy and happiness and what it really, really means, okay? Not some fantasy, not some sort of intellectual concept, nothing that is, let's say, chemically enhanced, none of that stuff. This is genuine, genuine love on a grand scale, where I think that like you're actually witnessing it in your surroundings, like uh, your loved ones, siblings, parents, children, pets, friends, family, a particular individual. All of that combined in some kind of delicious Ten of Cups type of energy where you are witnessing and it's being reflected back to you from the universe, like how incredibly lucky you are, Scorpio. Okay, I see this as very, very fortunate. And, even if you just have this like one glimpse in your whole life of how amazing it is to be so loving and be so loved, nothing can substitute for this. Nothing. So in many ways, you're very lucky here. It's very good for you, and I think it's very good for others. It's almost like a pulsing, living thing. It's almost like to me, it almost feels like the energy of, it's not an earth card, but like gardens itself. There's plenty of beautiful nature and gardening over here. And you know what it's like when people let's say, have some free time and they're happy, a lot of people like to go on a vacation, and they like to go and get in touch, like maybe go on nature hikes or kayaking or hiking or mountain climbing or getting in touch with nature, water, trees, plants, animals, and soaking up all that natural joy. I think that's what's happening here. You're being very supported by nature, okay, on a grand scale, and it's luscious for you. Okay, what are you resonating here? Okay, so with the Six of Cups here, my feeling is that you're getting a deeper and richer, fuller awareness that there's certain relationships in your life that have all the hallmarks of soulmate. Okay, and sometimes you can feel this in dreams or even in waking consciousness where you have these vivid sensations or an awareness that maybe you can't exactly prove in, you know, irrevocably, but you just know that you've known this person before and they've known you before, and it's in the context of a loving dynamic. This is very loving, okay? And it's like recycling, okay? Now, we still have, I think, for at least half of the month, we still got Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto still retrograde. Saturn is going direct very soon. But I think this is going back into very, very, very deep, deep, deep soulmate relationships where you're connecting now, here today, in this lifetime, with certain individuals where you have shared a lot of love before. And now it's like accumulating in this time, and it's right in front of you. It's right in your face again. And it's an incredibly delicious, satisfying feeling. And it's like an affirmation, like, wow, it's actually true. These things are real. Past lives, lovers from the past lives, people that we've loved, people who've loved us. They're starting to show up in my life, my world, your world, even their life, their world. They're part of this. It's something to truly celebrate. Let's have a look. What about the other? Also, to me, it feels like there's a desire for this, to have this reconnection, to connect at the level of soulmate. In other words, okay, it's fine like to hang out with people like acquaintances and so-called friends and perhaps people who are not chosen relationships, people who are default relationships like parents, nieces, nephews, those kind of things. But these are, to me, this feels very much like chosen relationships that have the ultimate, the most important credentials are the is the love that was there, and it is still there, probably even more than before. So what are they radiating here too? All right, so with the tower over here, there is something going on where, to me, it's almost, it might be overwhelming for them. You know how some people, if you've lived a sort of a life where you're not used to love, you've never had love at this kind of level. You've never experienced it. You know it's there technically. You've heard about it. You've witnessed it. You've seen it in movies, fairy tales, playing with toys when you were a kid, playing with little kids when you were a kid, hanging out with the people, in very, very sweet, innocent ways with you and another, with another and you. And what I think is happening here is that this is blowing up their heart. Okay, it's almost like it's like having a huge breakdown because of the witnessing and the experiencing and the newfound awareness of love at these kind of frequencies, and that it actually exists at all. So this is not a catastrophic kind of breakdown. This to me feels like a breakdown of fear, of the limitations, of the calcification of the pineal gland, of the fossilization of the heart. And it's all kind of gently melting, and it suddenly just kind of cracks open. And you're dealing with a significant other whose heart is literally breaking. But it's not breaking because of pain and damage and suffering. It's breaking open because of love. Okay? It's beautiful. To me, this is absolutely beautiful. I know it looks scary and catastrophic, but and so it can't, what I was trying to allude to is that if a person is not used to this, if you've been living lifetimes where you're fossilized, your heart is closed, it's overrun, it's covered in band-aids, and you've been avoiding it because of so much pain and suffering in other lifetimes that you can't even dare to risk opening the heart again to love, and yet here it's happening, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's like cracking open an egg, uh, for them, Scorpio, like, and it's just this beautiful thing inside, and they get to witness this just like you, almost literally like this imagery here. They are literally there with you, arm in arm, witnessing the splendor of this kind of love. And it's shocking, it's dazzling, it's overwhelming, it's mind blowing. Okay, well, it's actually heart blowing, okay? It's blowing open the heart chakra, as they might say if we were in a yoga class or something. Okay, what about deep inside of you, Scorpio? To me, this feels like relief, okay? With the Six of Swords here, it's like it's about time. It really, really is about time, because this is the stuff that really, really counts. You know it, Scorpio. Everybody knows it. Everyone would be wishing they had this reading if they could. And so to me, this feels like a very, very gentle recognition in yourself that I knew this moment would come. I knew this time would come sometime in my lifetime with certain people, some way, somehow. And now I'm going to take it and I'm going to move on. And these are going to be my new priorities now. And I'm only interested in relating and operating at this level with people. Anything less than this is redundant, it's obsolete. I don't need it anymore. I'm going to leave it all behind, whatever that constitutes. This is what counts now, loving and being loved with the people who love you and the people that you love. Okay, anything less than that, it's just not worthy. So it's literally, you just move on, with the little that you need. Okay, because this is what you really need. All you need is love. Okay, I'm not going to do a karaoke sing along. All you need is love. Do, 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 do. It'll get me into trouble. So anyway, you're moving on, and because that's what you want, you've deserved it, and now you've got it, and your mind is crisp and clear and open, and you're heading towards new horizons that are much more serene, peaceful, and resonant with you, Scorpio, where there's nothing obstructing you anymore. There's nothing to get in the way of this or obstruct this. It's almost like it's almost like this is almost like a compass setting for you, and you're following it, you're being led, you're being magnetized, and you're following that compass setting. So perhaps this person's energy over here of how so much heart energy blowing up to these enormous levels is actually kind of like a magnetic beacon for you, and you're following that beacon. Over here, let's have a look deep inside of them. Okay, so with the pentacles here, the Three of Pentacles, my feeling is that there's a deep, deep sense of gratitude between these people and yourself, Scorpio, where they're realizing they are a work in progress, and they could not have had this experience, to me, this amazing, uh, experience without you. It's a team effort. They need you, like they need you specifically on their team other, so that they can glow and grow from here. And so to me it feels like they are at their deep soul level, they are willing to share all their gifts and talents with you, Scorpio, into a loving kind of relationship that's very, very practical and working. Because I think, even though we're talking about very ethereal, loving kind of energy here, I think for them as an individual, they're feeling it on a very practical, measurable way here on planet Earth. Okay, evidence of love. Okay, about how love works. So because it's such a I'm not sure if this is an ecstatic thing, but it's almost like elation. It's almost like surprise. It might be something to do with Uranus and Taurus. Your seventh house, Scorpio. So just Uranus and Taurus just blowing things open randomly for significant others. And they're seeing how valuable that is. And it's just like, wow, this is so cool. I get to relate to you. What do you need? What do you need from me? This is how I can thank you, is by offering my skills and talents to you and our relationship. And then you're like, wow, that is so cool on the resonant level of my soul. I see this as like mutually beneficial. Well, that's so cool because I really, really enjoyed sharing myself with you. And for me, the Scorpio, to witness this in you, the other. I'm very pleased. So let's have a look deep at the core. What's going on here? Okay. Let's say it's not easy. Okay. This looks very beautiful, but we're not going to just say this is easy, people. This is like a never-ending, you know that song, Never-Ending Story? It's a never-ending puzzle. So the moment you think you've got it all figured out, savor that moment because it's not going to last for long. Because lo and behold, the weather is going to change. This too shall change. This too shall change. We'll have another reading in October. So for the meantime, please understand, when we look at this, from the relationship dynamics or from the crucible spread here, the actual nature of the relationship at this dynamic, at this point in time, is an ongoing enigma. Okay, to me, it feels like very enigmatic, where you, Scorpio, and a significant other or certain significant others are aware of how profound and valuable this relationship dynamic is for you, for them, and for everybody here, for you, okay, the couple or the partners, okay? And you get to enjoy it as a concept and a belief and an understanding that, wow, this is actually a real thing. And you realize it's constantly changing and morphing, and it's going to change and morph again, like a never ending story. But I see it more as a never ending puzzle because there's no indication here about what's coming next for October. I mean, I could project if you want to with some of the astrology, but I'd rather not do that. I'd rather live in the moment. Okay. So to me, it looks like this is sweet, and the relationship is more than capable of handling these shifts and these dynamics and the richness and the love and these cataclysmic, amazing, beautiful awakenings and shifts and changes and the moving on and the advancement of growth and spirit in that way. But still, let's just say you guys are on the little boat together and you're having a little quiet conversation just as you're drifting along, realizing, you know, I'm just going to turn these into characters here. Okay, it's like, you know, this is actually, let me do it this way. Like, hey, you know, I'm so glad that we met and that we've chosen this with each other at the soulmate level. Yeah, me too. I totally get it. I wouldn't have anything else now that I know. See, we got that and that. It's so cool. And I really love how I'm moving on, how we've moved on, how you're moving on. It's an amazing thing. And I have to admit, I don't understand a lot of it as I go along. It's a never ending puzzle. Yes, I agree. But we're doing it. It's kind of like an adventure. It is. It is. It's an adventure. And I'm coming with you. And I'm coming with you. This is so cool. And it's almost like it becomes fun. Like, okay, so long as you don't treat it as torture, you actually think this is actually exciting, it's challenging. So what's coming next? What else is nature going to throw at us in terms of challenges when we're going to face it with love? And of course, you will endure. And you'll treat it almost like a game, like a puzzle. And let's see what's coming out over here. Okay, so with the Temperance card, my feeling is that this becomes an art form. Okay, the way you are operating, Scorpio, at these super high love frequencies, and you're lucky enough to have at least one significant other in your life who gets it, who totally gets you to the point where it's just almost overwhelming how beautiful things can be once you're aware of it, once the heart is fully open, and then you absorb it and assimilate it and like, well, yeah, that's cool. That's what love is, people. I know, now I know. I'm no longer fossilized. I'm no longer calcified. My heart is open. Yep, mine too. So what do we do now? Just keep going? Yep, on the adventure, yes. So we don't know what the next pieces of the puzzle are? Nope. Well, I don't. Do you? Nope. Okay, let's just keep going. And so it turns into an art form. It's the art of living. It's the art of life. It's the art of heal thyself, heal thy loved one, The loved one heals you, you heal them. So it becomes this very, it's literally like, I don't know how else to say it. It is the art of living, the art of the life well lived. Okay, it doesn't matter how much trauma you guys have had, or you, or them, or someone else. You're still coming at it from the position of love and making the best of it. And that's all that anybody could do. And that's the most that anybody could do. Finding a way to turn everything into a healing opportunity. And that becomes life itself. It's like people who, they find something strange on the street and they think, wow, what is that? And they pick it up and they take it home. I don't know what it is, honey. Do you? Do you have any idea what that is? I have no idea. And then later it turns into a piece of found art. They turn it into a fountain or a painting, or you paint it up and you stick it in the garden. It looks like an amazing artifact. I mean, it's just as strange as that. That's what I'm sensing here. And it's all done through love. The art of living, the art of turning garbage into gold, the art of alchemy, turning it into something beautiful, knowing that you're divinely guided, divinely protected, and almost like idiot proof. And then this too shall change. And then whoosh, the next thing will happen in your story, Scorpio. Okay? The never-ending story, the never-ending puzzle. It's a beautiful thing, Scorpio. Just maintain the heart core center like this. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. You can reinterpret however you want. I'm going to pull the little oracle here for Romance Angels. This might add a little bit of color for you. Think of this as an after dinner mint or even just dessert. Okay, it's just throw a little bit of perspective. Almost all the personal readings that come here involve one-on-one relationships. So that's why I'm kind of doing it this way now, at least for now. All right, let's have a look, Scorpio. Another thing about this dynamic I'm just realizing is that what is happening here overall is causing dramatic, irreversible shifts in their life as well. Like what happens with tectonic plates. You can't undo what happens with tectonic plates. They just are what they are. Okay? And then you have a new landscape. That's what's happening here. New landscapes will unfold as a result of this. I'll do one more little spin. Hold on, I got distracted there. Here we go, Scorpio. This is for you. It says, heart-to-heart conversations. I think we had this in one of the other readings. Okay, they look very serious here. Well, it doesn't surprise me because this is very serious energy. And operating at these frequencies could easily, make you question what the bleep is going on. Also, with all these swords here, it would be very, very conducive to have really good communications. Okay? And I'm going to refer that over to here. Can you see the Capricorn energy here? Really, really good, profound, deep soul communications are very, very important for you, Scorpio, right now. Okay? Pluto and Saturn over here in your third house of communications. There's the Uranus and Taurus thing over here for significant others. Kerblam. Okay? Let me get the book. All right. So these romance angels here, they are very serious looking. They are very, very close to this couple, and because they're very concerned. They want things to be as good as possible with these two, even if they're facing the never-ending puzzle where they could maybe experience momentary doubt. Your love life needs a healthy infusion of honest communication, according to the romance angels. You have been harboring emotions that are masking your feelings of love. Oh, there's still time to heal the situation. However, it will require effort on your part. You may need to initiate an uncomfortable discussion and risk upsetting your partner. I'm not going to say what the subject matter might be, but something must be, let's say, niggling you inside somewhere that you would like to talk about, but you might be scared to talk about. In the end, though, This is a necessary move to ensure the health of your relationship. Heart-to-heart conversations are very, very good for love and relationship. You don't want to overdo it. You don't want to like turn them into war zones, but it's very, very good. I often think no communications, no relations. A lot of people switch to autopilot and they don't really communicate anymore. They just do all these habits, okay? But this is honest, open, heart-to-heart conversation. If necessary, schedule an appointment with a counselor to facilitate the discussion. This professional can steer the conversation away from blame and towards resolution. Whether you communicate with your partner alone or through a neutral third party, your heart-to-heart discussions will result in personal growth for you and the other and for the relationship itself, okay? Remember that you can't control another's reaction. You can only be honest about how you feel and know what you will and won't accept in a relationship. Maybe there's so much swirling around here with love energy and it's shifting and changing your perspectives, your horizons, your destiny, your future, that you're going to have a talk about this stuff. You can't let this thing go on autopilot. It's too good, it's too sweet. You can't take advantage of this. And after this kind of experience with the other person, they could be very vulnerable to fluctuations that you don't really foresee here. So again, the art of living is going to really come into play here. And a really important element of the art of living is good communication. You can only be honest about how you feel and know what you will and won't accept in a relationship. So by sharing your feelings, you stand a much better chance of teaching your partner about your needs instead of suffering silently. Now, I don't see too much suffering here, but if there's any kind of suffering that you're sensing going on, it needs to be acknowledged and brought into conversation, into the open light, and then dealt with so that the healing power of love can actually help you guys. All right. It takes courage to initiate these conversations. The more difficult the problem, the more likely the conversation is being delayed and buried. So just be aware of that. All right. You will know, Scorpio. You know what's going on. Let's make some room over here. This is Nature's Whispers. I'm using this as a reference to the big fat green triangle I showed you earlier, the Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus energy. It's very sweet. It's very nutritious for you. It just happens to be lucky for you, Scorpio. So let's see what is coming to you in a message from Nature's Whispers. Okay? This could be anything. We're not going to preempt this in any way. Okay, this is it. Assurance. Oh, no, okay, now I don't know if you can see this clearly. It's a very kind of mysterious looking card. I'll try to describe it better, okay? There's this beautiful tree in this like smoky winter landscape over here. There's a lake, there's another lake over here. The tree is very rich and abundant. And these 1, 2, 3, 4 like divine creatures are living in the tree. It's almost like they're part of the tree. They're obviously, very close to each other, associated with each other in some ways. She's holding some kind of little crucible. She's holding a pot. It looks like her hand's in the pot, maybe one of those cornucopias. She's holding onto a pet butterfly, and she is basically, she's got like a basket of flowers on her head. Okay, let me get the book. Hold on. I got carried away there. All right, it says here, assurance. Remain steady and be assured that you are doing exactly what you are supposed to do. You might be seeing small signs that things, situations, and desires are just beginning to fall into place. That's beautiful. Your focus and skills are intact. You will feel motivated in work areas and therefore make good inroads on your usual work. Fresh perspectives will appear, and as a result, Your life will move towards more harmony and balance. Trust yourself. You have everything that you need. I think this refers very much to the Six of Swords here, knowing that you have everything that you need, trusting in the way the so-called future unfolds, only bringing with you what you need, and you have so much. You don't need the heavy weights of baggage of what some people call wealth and love and abundance. You've got it right here at the level of the heart, the level of the soul. So it's very comforting. I think this card is basically saying you're doing okay, Scorpio. You're already doing a super job. Just keep going. Trust in it that you do have a gift, the art of living, and you're lucky enough to share that with someone who gets it and who's benefiting greatly from this with you, which of course means you benefit greatly with them too. So I'll put this over here, and that'll be it. I'm going to check out with you. I don't think I checked in, did I? Ah, man. Maybe I did. Sorry. Anyway, that's it. That's your reading. I was hoping to, share a little bit more with you personally, but I think I got just too carried away. Let's leave it at that and make the best of it. Thank you, all Scorpios for being here. Watch for your sun, moon, and rising if you have to. Check in if you need to. There's, you can go to the Patreon place and do that. All right. You know what to do. Okay. Bye bye. Thank you all. Thank you very much. Take care. Love thyself.